Davin Sujiman BN, your freelance newsreader. Top story number one: Hikikomori isolation. Hikikomori is described as a condition of extreme social withdrawal and isolation. Withdrawn from society, cut off ties with others, retreated for a long periods into solitude and isolation of their own homes. It is an awful thing solitary, wrote John McCain, the Republican senator and two-time contender for the U.S. presidency, of his 5.5 years as prisoner of war in Vietnam. More than 2 years it spent in isolation in approximately 4.5 meter by 4.5 meter cell. It crushes your spirit, weakens your resistance, and effectively than any other form of mistreatment. Many hikikomori are indeed heavy internet and video game users, but most use the internet passively as a window to the world rather than a means to interact with others. There are probably commonalities underlying this phenomenon across different societies. A demanding educational system, high parental expectation, emphasis on material success, and more crucially, most individuals' sense of not being able to make it and the subsequent utter disillusionment. Top story number two: Design for mental health. It was announced that A*STAR, Agency for Science, Technology and Research, will be examining the impact of urban environmental factors on mental well-being. Efforts to understand the interaction between environment, stressor, and mental health are gaining traction for good reason. The prevalence of poor mental health among Singaporeans has been increasing. The number of people with poor mental health rose from 13.4% in 2020 to 17% in 2022, the National Population Health Survey found. Findings suggested that easy access to community resources such as sport club facilities would help promote their well-being. Living near transit connection is positively associated with good mental health, particularly for older people who may less likely be able to drive. Ensuring infrastructure and services are accessible and supportive of mental health would only serve to promote a more resilient and equitable society. I look forward to the result of A*STAR study. Top story number three: Heatflation. When the doors opened in the Tokyo morning at 24th July 10th Annual Heat Solution Expo, the Yamasin representative pitched was that even more dangerous summer heat will force companies to change their way they cool factory staff. An ideal time, you can see past the present and pending misery inherent in all this for employers to consider Iceman Pro X self-cooling workfares, bottom-chilling office chairs, hydrating ice slurry, interior mist emitters, and a vast array of other products designed to keep a labor force working through ever more adverse conditions. If, of course, the company, they or we can afford it. Heatflation, as a way of describing the upward pressure on costs caused by climate change, has so far tended to be more focused on the price impact on food and water. However, the attendees at the Heat Solution 2024 suggest that the term will quite soon be applied to everything very much soon. Top story number four: Harris versus Trump. It began at Milwaukee amid Republican euphoria. History was finally on Donald Trump's side, but it ended up with a surge in Democratic enthusiasm for Vice President Kamala Harris as their overnight champion. On the negative side for Harris, this election is going to get nasty quickly. Ms. Harris is non-white female with stepchildren. Mr. Fauci once described her as a childless cat lady. There was also strange anointing of Yale-educated Silicon Valley-funded J.D. Fauci as American Hillbilly-in-Chief. It will be a while before we can reliably gauge what voters make of all this. Regardless of the nominees, America remains roughly 50-50 nation. The economy and immigration will be at least as important as gender in shaping voters' decisions. Top story number five: Cyberplexus. In 2024, the average person I may be woken by alarm on smartphone. and benefit from hot water that is controlled by smart heating control, also linked to a smartphone and the internet. There might be delivery tracked via the internet, and a ring on the doorbell also linked to the internet. The plexus is configured around satellite and around 1.5 million kilometers of submarine fiber optic cables that connect continents, but which people are largely unaware of. Something like natural disaster could damage these cables at any time, causing catastrophic failure. It exposed everyone to unknown risks, including the sudden failure of the plexus and all service coupled to it. For people, companies, and government, the key is to have contingency in place to be prepared for failure and outage. All this suggests that while there are undeniable advantages from the evolution of cyber energy production practices, there remain a great many known and unknown risks. Darwin Sugiman BN sign off, your freelance newsreader.